Yet more of our own country is being closed to us for cultural reasons. Now, this time the Victorian government wants to, or is planning to, severely restrict use of huge state forests in Gippsland. So people can't even walk a dog in some of that. And it's not just for green reasons, as I say, cultural ones as well. Decided by a so-called eminent panel for community engagement. 5 people, 3 of them identifying as Aboriginal. Now, if this panel gets its way, no more dog walking, no firewood collecting, only restricted camp, no 4-wheel driving in these areas. Now, the Victorian government had earmarked around 400,000 hectares of state forests around Merbau North and Strathbogie Ranges. That's to the east and south of Melbourne, to be rezoned as conservation parks and cultural reserves now. And it said, don't worry, we will consult the community. Really? Last month there was indeed a community consultation meeting in Druin. But what a farce. The community was there, but the panel wasn't. The people who turned up had to write their thoughts on little sticky notes and place them around the room. The room itself was in a tennis club building so small that it could only fit a quarter of the people who turned up at a time. And whether the panel ever got to read all those sticky notes, what do you reckon? Who'd know? Joining me is One Nation Victorian candidate Warren Pickering, who was at this meeting. Warren, good to see you. What exactly is going on here?
Yeah, firstly, good evening, Andrew, and thank you for having me. So as you alluded to, this eminent panel is the claims to be independent is actually hand-selected, in my opinion. It was to conduct a community engagement consultation process and deliver a report to the state government on the impacts of this proposal and the primary uses of these regions. So,
and what's got your interest in this issue, Warren?
My interest, I live in this region and I utilise this particular bit of land, the Central Highlands itself, for my own recreational leisure purposes, much as everyone else that was in attendance. So
well, you mentioned the attendance. This meeting, Warren, down at the hall. I mean, those photos. I think they're from your website. It looks like a total joke. I mean, you hold a consultation meeting, you don't turn up to hear what the public want, just post-it notes. Did it sound to you like, or look to you like just a box-ticking exercise?
Yeah, look. It's quite literally a slap in the face to the community consultation process. The reality is the meetings were barely advertised. The window for submissions was inadequately short. No minister was in attendance. No local members were in attendance. No panel was present. No questions were answered, and no consultation was had.
It's incredible. Now, look, this area, right? It's a lovely part of the state. It's also had a huge timber industry. Well, it did. I mean, it's been progressively strangled. Is that what is upsetting the government? Is that what this is about? Is it something else? Is the Aboriginal issue? What is it?
I don't believe so with regard to the timber industry. I mean, they've already sufficiently decimated this industry enough. So I can only surmise that this proposal proposes something more nefarious in nature. There doesn't seem to have been a trigger point that initiated this proposal in the first place. Community members have been told that at this stage it is just a proposal, but look, after that meeting last week, everybody left believing that this was a foregone conclusion. It just feels like we're being given the illusion of choice, nothing more.
Yeah, well, we spoke to the local council yesterday. They were in the dark about these changes too. So it just seems like it's being driven through for some reason. I don't know whether it's associated at all, like the government's talking about a treaty with Aboriginal groups and all that. This whole concept of cultural zones now, it seems to me part of that kind of discussion, really. And that sounds to me like a sort of racist division of our natural heritage.
Look, it's interesting you raised that point because having been someone that grew up in this region, I actually have very close ties and friends within the Indigenous communities out here. Everybody that I've spoken to says the same thing. They had no idea, even amongst those Indigenous communities, that this proposal was out there. They utilise this bushland for the same reasons I do, for recreational purposes, trail bike riding, four driving, hunting. So we can only assume that those that represent the Aboriginal corporations haven't really consulted those communities.